When Kelly Ripa sits down with Maya Rudolph, you know it's not going to be your average morning show interview. But what unfolded on Live with Kelly and Mark this week was something even Kelly herself couldn't have scripted, a hilarious, slightly meta, and surprisingly insightful conversation about politics, parody, and the strange mirror effect of pop culture. It all started when Kelly brought up one of Maya's most beloved characters from her time on Saturday Night Live, her Emmy-winning portrayal of Vice President Kamala Harris. "Maya," Kelly said with her trademark sparkle, "I swear, I think you broke reality with that impression. I watched Kamala the other day, and she wasn't being Kamala, she was being you being Kamala." Maya burst into laughter, that warm, infectious cackle that has charmed fans since her SNL debut 2 decades ago. "Oh, don't tell me that," she said, wiping tears from her eyes. "I've heard people say that, but I always think, no way. Kamala is Kamala, she's got her own vibe." But Kelly was undeterred. "No, I'm serious," she continued. "You know how actors sometimes say, I'm not imitating the person, I'm channeling their essence. I think Kamala saw your version and said, oh, wait, that's what I should sound like. It's like you gave her a blueprint for her own confidence." Mark Consuelos, Kelly's ever-supportive co-host, chuckled from his chair beside her. "So basically," he quipped, "Maya's responsible for the vice president's entire personality arc." The audience roared, and Maya leaned back, mock serious. "Well," she said, "if that's true, then I think I deserve a little cabinet position. Maybe Secretary of Vibes." The origin of a political doppelganger. Maya Rudolph first stepped into the heels of Kamala Harris during the 2019 Democratic primaries, when SNL was looking for someone who could capture the candidate's charisma and cool composure, with a dash of comedic exaggeration. What Maya created was an instantly iconic mix of maternal authority and sly humor, always punctuated with a confident, "I'm speaking." "I remember the first time I did Kamala," Maya told Kelly. "I was terrified, because you never want to offend, you want to celebrate. And she's got this incredible mix of lawyer brain and anti-energy, which I just love. So I thought, let's honor that while still having fun." Kelly nodded enthusiastically. "And you did. You made her so lovable. You made people want to listen to her." The beauty of Maya's impression, as Kelly pointed out, was that it didn't just mimic Harris' mannerisms, it magnified her strengths. "You took her composure and gave it rhythm," Kelly said. "You added a little wink that said, I know I'm the smartest person in the room, but I'm still here to make you feel comfortable. That's what made your version stand out." Maya smiled, clearly touched. "That's such a sweet way to put it. I think when you play someone, especially a real person, you're holding a funhouse mirror up to them. You see what they project, but you also get to show how the world perceives them. When the funhouse mirror reflects back." As the conversation deepened, Kelly shared what she called the full circle moment, when the real Kamala Harris appeared in interviews and public events after SNL aired Maya's performances. "After your sketches went viral," Kelly said, "I noticed Kamala started leaning into the humor a bit more. The pauses, the smile, that, 'I'm speaking,' cadence, I thought, wait a second. Maya Rudolph invented this beat." Maya laughed again. "That's wild. I mean, she's such a natural communicator. But it's funny, someone sent me a clip of her dancing to Mary J. Blige and said, see, she's doing you doing her." Kelly threw her hands up in mock triumph. "Exactly, she's impersonating you impersonating her. It's like identity inception." The phrase quickly became the headline moment of the show. Mark even pulled out his phone and pretended to text a friend, "Hold up, Kamala's doing Maya doing Kamala. Somebody call Christopher Nolan, we've entered a new timeline." The audience howled, but beneath the laughter, there was a serious insight, how art and life often blur in unexpected ways, especially in an era where media, memes, and personality are intertwined. Maya on the weight of comedy and representation. Kelly then shifted gears, asking Maya whether she feels a responsibility when portraying public figures, especially women of color in politics. Maya nodded thoughtfully. "Absolutely. Comedy has power. It shapes how people are seen. And for someone like Kamala, who broke so many barriers, you want to capture the essence of that without turning it into caricature. That balances everything." She paused, then added with a smile, "But also, she's so fun to play. She's got that mix of real warmth and that, 'don't mess with me,' prosecutor energy. It's delicious." Kelly leaned forward. "And that's what people respond to. You're showing her as multidimensional, strong but approachable, serious but playful." Maya nodded. "Exactly. And I think she's aware of that, too. Maybe that's why she's leaned into it more publicly, because she knows people respond to her warmth. Maybe I helped her see that part of herself more clearly. Kelly gasped, grinning. So what you're saying is, you helped the vice president become her best self. Maybe just her funniest self, Maya said, winking. Mark joins the meta madness. Mark Consuelos, never one to miss a comedic opportunity, jumped in with a story of his own. You know, I tried to do an impression of Kelly once, he said, deadpan. Then she started doing me doing her, and now I don't know who either of us are anymore. Kelly rolled her eyes affectionately. You mean when you tried to host live for me that one time and kept saying, "Good morning, everyone," in a weird falsetto? Exactly, he said proudly. And then the next day, you said it exactly like I did. You totally stole my bit. The studio audience burst into laughter again. Maya, clapping her hands, exclaimed, "See. It's contagious. The imitator becomes the imitated. It's the circle of life, but for comedy." Kelly shook her head, laughing so hard she could barely speak. We're all just versions of each other now. I'm doing Mark, Kamala's doing Maya, and Maya's doing the Lord's work. Behind the scenes at SNL. Kelly, who's always been fascinated by the mechanics of SNL, asked what it's like behind the scenes when a real-life figure reacts to a sketch. It can go a few ways, Maya admitted. Sometimes they love it, sometimes they pretend to love it. The crowd laughed knowingly, but Kamala, Maya continued, was actually super gracious. After the election, she sent me this really sweet note through a mutual friend saying she appreciated the humor. That meant a lot, because when you're playing someone still active in public life, it's tricky, you're influencing how people see them in real time. Kelly nodded. That's so true. It's like your sketch becomes part of the historical record. Years from now, people will remember your Kamala just as vividly as the real one. Maya looked humbled. That's a wild thought, but if my version helped people connect with her, to see her as human, relatable, funny, then I'm proud of that. Kelly's theory of comedic transference. Kelly, ever the armchair philosopher, summed it up in her signature style. I think what we're witnessing, she said, is what I like to call comedic transference. You bring out a version of someone that people fall in love with, and then they realize, oh, I can be that too. It's like emotional osmosis. Maya burst out laughing. I'm stealing that term, comedic transference. That's my next TED Talk. Mark grinned, and the subtitle will be, How Maya Rudolph Accidentally Helped Kamala Harris Win the Internet. Kelly raised an eyebrow. Not a bad hypothesis. The ripple effect of a laugh. Toward the end of the interview, the tone grew surprisingly heartfelt. Comedy's such a connector, Maya said. Especially in tough times. I think when we can laugh with each other, not at each other, that's when real understanding happens. That's what I try to do, even when I'm playing someone powerful. Kelly nodded. It's a reminder that even our leaders are human. They watch TV, they laugh, they cringe, they see themselves reflected back. And sometimes, Maya added, they steal your moves. Kelly grinned. Hey, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Even when it's imitation of imitation. Exactly, Maya said, raising her coffee mug in a toast. Here's to the great chain of impressions. Post-show buzz. The internet weighs in. Within hours of the interview airing, clips of Kelly's comment, "She's impersonating you impersonating her," exploded online. Twitter and TikTok flooded with side-by-side videos of Maya's SNL sketches and Harris' real-life speeches. One fan tweeted, "So, are we living in the Maya Rudolph cinematic universe now?" Another joked, "Kamala Harris is playing Maya Rudolph playing Kamala Harris playing Kamala Harris. I'm lost, send help." Even the SNL social media team got in on the fun, reposting a highlight reel captioned, "Art imitates life imitates art imitates Maya Rudolph." Kelly's takeaway. By the end of the morning, Kelly reflected on the surreal beauty of it all during the show's closing moments. You know, she said, today made me realize how much comedy can shape reality. Maya's impression didn't just make us laugh, it showed Kamala, and all of us, a version of confidence and charm we want in our leaders. That's powerful. Mark nodded, smiling. So what you're saying is, laughter really can change the world. Kelly shrugged playfully. Maybe not the whole world, but at least the way it talks, walks, and delivers a killer line. Maya's laughter echoed in everyone's memory long after she'd left the stage, a reminder that sometimes, truth doesn't just imitate art. It borrows its wardrobe, its smile, and maybe even its comedic timing. Because in the end, Kelly was right, Kamala Harris isn't just impersonating Maya Rudolph. She's celebrating her. And somewhere in that joyful loop of influence, we're all a little more connected, and a lot more amused.